Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about business, which this channel now is focusing on, and I'm just going to be talking about my business and what I'm doing. It may give you some ideas of how you can start a business, a side hustle, maybe even just something that you need to earn a bit of extra money, especially with Christmas coming up, or you want to take that holiday or something like that. This might give you some ideas as to how simple it can be to earn a little bit of extra money or to upscale it and to go into something where you're devoting all your time and it becomes a full-time business. So what do? I make lots of things. Look at all this fabric behind me. I am a sewer. I love to crochet and knit. I like to do lots of different crafts. And it's been very difficult for me to hone in on what it is that people are interested in, people are going to like and buy. And also, I need to keep in mind, what do I like doing? It would be no good if I found a product that people liked, but I hated making. I just think that wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm still finding my feet. Now, I did start my business in July, very, very slowly. I had to make things to take to the markets, and that's where I'm selling at the moment. I am still setting up my website, so I'll be selling online, but I'm trying to find out what it is that people like. And I look at myself. What is it that I need? What are my interests? And what do I like sewing? I also have grown-up children and grandchildren, so I'm sewing things for them. So I also keep that in mind. So you'll see something around my neck. I'm going to go into detail about this today. This is a wire wrap. I also make what they call rosy wraps. Now, rosy wraps don't have the wire in them, but they are very similar to this. And you may have seen me wearing them on occasion. Why do people wear them? Many different reasons. So if you colour your hair, you get regrowth. You can see mine. Wearing one of these extends that period in between dyeing your hair. For me, what is it about this? This, I'll just take it off and show you. This is a piece of fabric. To make this, do I have a tutorial on it? I'm not sure. If I don't, I'll put one up. But really, it's 40 inches by 7 inches. And then there's just trimming the sides to 45-degree angle and sewing it so that you can put wire in. And it's, I would say, making a one-off would probably take you about half an hour to do, because there's a lot of ironing and folding it inside out and all that sort of stuff. Keeping that in mind, when I'm doing batch sewing, yes, I can make them faster. And I sell these for $25. And I just went to a festival on the weekend, a rock and roll festival called Chrome Fest, which is in the Entrance in Australia. Wonderful festival. And they were selling these, and I saw a few people selling them. I'll be doing markets at Chrome Fest next year. So if you're in Australia and you go to that festival, look out for me next year. But they were all $25, and I understand why. So how do we wear this? So I've put it with the wire down and the soft side up. Now, I usually use a mirror for this, but I'm looking into my camera, so if I get this wrong and have to redo it, you'll understand why. So we just bring it up, and this is just one way to wear it. We put it over, and because it's got the wire, we can twist it round, and we can wear it lots of different ways. So I can bring that down and just leave it like that, or I tuck the ends in underneath. Now, why I like these so much is because I wear glasses, and when I wear other headbands, they're either too tight and they're slipping off the back, or they're pressing hard against my glasses. So I'll just tuck this in again. As I say, I'm not using my mirror. There we go. Just tuck them in. Now, these are great for bad hair days. People wear them when they do rock and roll. When we go out rock and roll dancing, you'll see a lot of people wearing headbands. There's lots of different headgear that people wear. And so they're great, as I said, great for a bad hair day. If you've got really buffy hair, big hair, and you just want to tame it a little bit, this is ideal. If you want to pull it right back off your face and wear one of these, this will keep it back. Or if you just want to tame it, again, as I said, for covering the greys, or, you know, when they've got regrowth. It's also good if it's a day where you haven't washed your hair. So I just wanted to talk about, how do I turn $10 into $200? Well, it's quite easy. When I make these headbands, the amount of material that it takes, I always look for specials. I buy my fabric when it is reduced in price, and I'm always looking for bargains as far as thread goes, and even the wire that I put in, I'm always looking for when is there a special, when, you know, how can I get it a little bit cheaper. So I keep my costs right down as far as I can, and these headbands will cost me around about $1.35 each. When I make 8, that's just over the $10 mark. If I sold 8 of these for $25, I've got $200 in my hand. So that's where it comes in. How do I turn $10 into $200? But there's a lot of other examples that I've got, but that's probably the best one because it's the easiest, quickest, and most profitable one that I have. I do have other items that I sell, and, you know, I sell headbands for $10. It takes even less fabric to make a headband. I'm talking a little stretchy headband, but a bit of time. But when you're doing them in bulk, you can make so many in an hour. So if you want to think about having a side hustle, a little bit of extra money, or something that you could possibly turn into a full-time business, you need to put thinking cap on and think about the skills you have, what it is you like doing, and is there a market for that? The way to have a look at it, there's a lot of stuff on social media. Have a look on Facebook. What are people promoting on Instagram? What's on Etsy? You also can go to your local markets and have a look at what people are selling there. Now, you don't want to go and rip someone's idea off, but you might say, I didn't realise that so many people, well, I'm surprised that so many people buy scrunchies. I don't sell scrunchies. I don't want to compete with those people. There's a lot of people out there in the marketplace. I sell headbands, all different types of headbands, getting into the rock and roll scene. I do things a little bit differently. I sell bucket hats and bags, but all things that are utilising the skills that I have and things that I enjoy making. So, you know, there are things that I like making and there's no market for them. So you need to actually investigate, is there a market? Is there a market? Just because people are at the market selling stuff, you don't know how much they're selling. It might be their first day and then they find, oh, what I've brought to the markets isn't selling. So have a look and see what is actually selling. And again, as I say, with social media, you'll see what actually sells. So if you've got something in mind, do your investigation. You might be there saying, I don't have any skills. Well, you can learn skills. If you've got an interest in something, you can always go on YouTube. I went onto YouTube to look at how can I make bucket hats. And now look, I make them. I love making them. So yeah, that's, it was a process. It took time for me to learn, but I did it. And now I'm selling lots of them. People really are after them. It's coming into summer. Well, it's spring at the moment, but we'll soon be in summer, and here in Australia, you need a hat. So let's have a look at what else you can do. So this is what I make, one of the things I make. Now, you may have something that you do that you like to do for friends, family, or people might often say to you, oh, you do that so well, you should do lots of them and sell them. Make sure it's something that you want to do in bulk that you want to do day after day after day. I have a variety of products that I sell. This is just one of them with the wire. I also do other ones without the wire. I do stretchy headbands. I make bags. I make children's aprons. And I also make children's dresses. Now, I started off doing that for my for my granddaughters. And my daughter loved it so much, she shared it on social media. And we've had a lot of people inquiring about can they order it. And yes, I am starting to make children's dresses. That was something I hadn't thought of. I do so for the grandchildren, but I thought there's enough people out there making kids' clothes. But it basically takes me to make the smaller sizes, which I'm making a lot of, the 2s, 4s and size 6. It only takes half a metre. The fabric I'm using is very good fabric, and therefore I'm making a quality item that I can charge for. When you're in business, you need to take into account all your other expenses. It's not just the cost of the material or my time. I have to pay insurance. When I sell them at market, I pay for the stall. When I sell them online, I'm paying for my website and I'm putting in the work to maintain that website. So there's a lot of other factors that need to be taken into consideration if you're thinking that you've got something that you do and you might be selling it. I'd say the first point would be looking at, can you sustainably be doing it over and over again, or is it something that is just not going to keep you interested doing it for a long period of time? The other thing you need to take into consideration is whatever it is that you're making or doing, how long is that taking you to make? You don't want to be selling something for, say, $20, but it takes you an hour to make it. That's not sustainable. So because as I mentioned earlier, there are other costs to take into consideration. You've got your electricity. Are you using water? So does your water bill go up? Is this something that you want to do and you're working around family? Can you do it at night for a few hours while the children are asleep? Or is it going to be something where you're needing to devote possibly 8 to 10 hours a day to? There's lots of things to think about. But if you just want to do it as a hobby, sell it to friends and family, maybe get word out there via social media, perhaps Facebook or Instagram, and just start something small for a little bit of pocket money, I'd call it, a little bit of helping to, break the back of all the bills that we're getting at the moment. Then, yeah, you might take something on and just do it very, very small scale. You can do it small scale, and then life changes, kids go off to school, you have more time in your day. It might be something that you could upscale as you have more time. But when you start something, you'll often find, like I have, that you're learning along the way. I hadn't thought that I was going to make children's dresses, but look at me now, I'm starting to do that. There were other things that I wanted to make, but the return just wasn't there. Just because I enjoy making them, they take a long time, and you can't charge for your time in some of these, the amount of time. So I did scrap some ideas. Other things that I do, I'll be back in a minute. I make bucket hats. I make them in all different designs. And I'll tell you how I got into that. I'll just show you a few more. I actually love this one. I just love the colours in it. And then I do a lot of licensed prints. These are very popular. There's a Star Wars one. And sunflowers are always popular. So how did I get into making bucket hats? Now this goes back to businesses evolve, especially being out in the markets. When I do the markets, I love it that I can talk to people. We have conversations, they tell me what they like. Now, the bucket hats, why did I introduce those? Well, because I crochet. I crochet bags. I also crochet scarves and beanies. In winter, they were very big sellers. I was selling, especially those cold days where the wind would come through, people would pull their coats tighter and then they'd see my stall and say, yes, I need a beanie. So they'd come over and they'd get a beanie. As the seasons have changed and we're now into spring, weather's getting warmer, beanies are not selling. So I thought, just as an experiment, I'll make a few bucket hats and we'll see how we go. So I'm concentrating on the 2 larger sizes at the moment, because I've found that if I don't have the design in the toddler size that people want, they will buy the child size, a little bit bigger. And they say, well, it doesn't matter that it's a bit bigger, because I put a cord and a toggle on all my hats. If it's a little bit bigger, they just pull it up. The child can wear it, the toddler can wear it, and they'll grow into it. So, and I sell those hats for $25. But that's just one of the things that I've been doing in my business. So if you're looking at starting a business, I'll just recap on that. Find out what it is you like, well, where you have a skill and how you can utilize that skill. There are some people who say, I don't do any craft. I don't do anything. You know, I like to read. I like to watch movies in my spare time. And for the rest of the time, I'm at work. Well, if you're wanting to have a side hustle, make a little bit of extra money, the time is to learn a skill. What is it that interests you? I mean, I've seen so many things where people learn a very basic skill, but make it very profitable. Some examples are people who do woodwork. They'll pick up some free or scrap wood, they'll make coasters out of it, and it's just in the marketing. And especially coming up to special seasons like Christmas, people are looking for gifts. You might be good at using a computer. You might be good at doing graphics. You could design cards, you could design stickers. You might say there's lots of people doing it. But when you put your own twist on it, it becomes very personal. You can do lots of things. So YouTube is the place to learn so many skills. So think about what it is. You go to a craft store, look at the products that they have and say, I wonder what I could make with that. You can get air dry clay and you can make earrings. You can do jewelry. You can get all the supplies for a very low price. But if you're making something that's beautiful, unique, and what people are after, you've got yourself a business. So I'm not here to give you all your ideas. You need to do your own investigation. And there are lots of YouTubes out there that will give you, like there's ones that say 100 ideas to start a small business, 100 ideas to start a side hustle, 25 ideas, 50 ideas. But don't think because you don't have any skills or hobbies that you can't do it. So give it thought. And I do have a previous video where I talked about how to start a small business or a side hustle. So have a look at that if you're wanting to get into it as well. So I wish you well on your journey if you're looking to start a side hustle. And I'd love to hear comments if anyone's got a side hustle that's working well. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to keep the ideas to myself. But I think we're very big. It's very big. People have money to spend and you just need to find your niche in the marketplace and not be afraid of someone stealing your idea. Because if you're doing good quality work, you're making your own unique designs, your stuff is unique. People can't replicate that. Okay, you have a great week and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.